Rebecca, good to see you again.
Great to see you as usual.
Thank you. Something that's always been curious to me as well. When a senior person, or anyone really, asks you for your opinion about information or on a topic, how do you know where to focus? How do you know how to focus on what they need and where to go with that?
Well, you know, Mike, that's a tough question in many ways, because you have to figure out what's on their mind, what are they really getting at, what do they really want to know. Sometimes you know this, sometimes you don't.
Yes.
And I think when you don't know, or you can't ask, or you can't figure that out, you have to be super aware of what's going on at that moment in the company, in the situation. And let me tell you a story that illustrates how I learned that, like everything else, the hard way.
Yes, of course.
Exactly. Always like the hard way. Always. Hard head, hard way. That's me. Anyway, I had taken a job at the New York City Housing Authority. And I was in the IT department. And one day I got on the subway after work and met an old friend. I hadn't seen her in many years. And she says, "What are you doing now?" And I said, "Oh, I'm working for the Housing Authority." And she says, "Rebecca, you don't know anything about housing." I said, "I don't have to. I'm in IT." Yes. And boy, was I wrong. Yes. And luckily I had a great boss who gave me some good coaching. Yes. But one of the things I figured out, and I learned that lesson then, and I carried it on, and many years later I was working in a big insurance company. And I took advantage of everything they offered. They had classes so that you could learn the basics of insurance. You could even get some types of certification. But I read the weekly update of what was happening in the industry, so that whenever anybody wanted to know some information, I knew the context. I understood what's going on, what are the trends, what are the big issues, so that I could bring whatever I was talking about back to that. And then, if all else fails,
yes,
and I'm talking to management, I know that there's some basic hot buttons that is always on their mind, and that's how I want to focus that information. Number one is money. Okay. Budget, profit, finances, ROI, whatever. Perhaps some things around productivity, efficiency.
Makes sense.
But those are the kind of things that I refocus it on if I can't find out any other way.
Very, very good, because what you're doing is tailoring it. Again, it's a customization, but you're preparing. Yes. The preparation, gathering the data, reading the right magazines, reading the right articles, reading the right periodicals, and then going back to key buttons or hot buttons that an executive would want to know.
That's right.
On the balance sheet, and saving money.
That's right.
And making money with innovation and growth. Thank you. That is absolutely awesome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.